The door closed more quietly than usual. He did not slam it. He did not rush. In fact, he moved carefully, almost deliberately, as if trying not to draw attention. His hand lingered on the handle for a brief moment before letting go. Then he left. Inside the house, nothing seemed to change at first. The air remained still. The light filtered in the same way through the window. The familiar shapes of furniture stayed untouched. The dog lay on the floor, resting. Or at least, it appeared to be resting. Its eyes were half closed, its body relaxed, its breathing slow and steady. There was no immediate reaction to the quiet departure. No sudden movement. No bark. Just stillness. But something had already shifted. Dogs do not rely only on sight to understand their environment. They track patterns, movements, sounds. The rhythm of daily life forms a structure in their minds, a map of what should happen and when that pattern breaks, even slightly, they notice. The dog's ears move first. A small adjustment, barely visible, as if catching a detail that did not align. The subtle sequence of movement that normally came with departure was incomplete. The dog opened its eyes, not fully, just enough. It remained in place, but its awareness sharpened. There is a moment, brief but important, when a dog begins to process absence, not immediately emotional, not yet, just recognition. Something is different. The dog lifted its head slowly. It looked toward the door. No movement, no sound, only silence. The silence carried information. Dogs can detect the absence of familiar signals just as strongly as they detect their presence. The lack of footsteps, the absence of voice, the missing return of energy into the space, all of it forms a pattern. And now, that pattern was incomplete. The dog stood up. It did not rush to the door, not yet. Instead, it walked slowly across the room, as if confirming what it already suspected. Its movements were controlled, measured, guided by internal evaluation rather than impulse. It paused near the doorway, then it sniffed the air. The scent was still there, faint, but present, fresh enough to confirm that he had been there recently, but not strong enough to indicate that he was still near. Dogs process time differently through scent. A fresh scent signals presence. A fading scent signals distance. A vanished scent signals absence. The dog lowered its head slightly, then turned toward the window. Still nothing. The environment remained unchanged, yet something essential was missing. There is a psychological shift that happens at this point. The dog moves from recognition to interpretation. Where is he? Why is he not here? When will he return? These are not questions in words, but in patterns of expectation. The dog walked back into the room. This time, its movement was slower, less exploratory, more deliberate. It returned to the spot where he had been sitting earlier. The scent was stronger there. It lay down, not in a relaxed way, but in a waiting posture, head slightly raised, ears still active, eyes not fully closed. This is the beginning of anticipation. Dogs form strong attachments to routine. Departure is part of that routine. But the way departure happens matters. When a human leaves without signaling, without a clear transition, it creates uncertainty in the dog's perception. The expected sequence is interrupted. The pattern does not resolve. And so, the dog remains in a state of partial alertness. Waiting for completion, time passed. The light shifted slightly. The room grew quieter. The dog remained in place. Every small sound drew its attention. A distant noise outside. A faint movement within the walls. Each one briefly triggered the possibility of return, but none matched the pattern. None resolved the expectation. Dogs do not measure time the way humans do. They do not count hours. They experience time through change, through the fading of scent, through the shifting of light, through the rhythm of events. And in that rhythm, absence feels different depending on how it begins. The dog stood up again. It walked to the door this time, slowly. It sniffed the bottom edge, where scent tends to gather. Still there, but weaker. It sat down, facing the door. This is a common behavior. Positioning near the point of exit, not because the dog believes it can control the situation, but because that location carries the strongest connection to the missing presence. The dog waited. Its body remained still, but its attention stayed active. This is not anxiety in the way humans describe it. It is unresolved expectation. The pattern has not completed, and so The dog remains engaged. There is another layer to this behavior. Dogs are highly sensitive to emotional cues during departure. The tone of movement, the energy in the room, the consistency
Just a
of
minute, I'm
routine
coming.
all shape how they interpret what is happening. When a human leaves with clear signals, the dog learns the pattern. Movement, sound, departure, return, the cycle completes. But when a human leaves quietly, without transition,
More time passes,
the pattern
and
breaks.
the scent has
The dog
almost
does not
vanished.
receive the signal that the cycle
A
has
golden
begun.
retriever
And
dog
so,
is a statue
it does
of
not fully
patience.
shift into a resting state. It remains in between. The dog lowered its head slightly, but its eyes remained open, watching, listening, waiting. Eventually, its body relaxed just enough to rest, but not enough to fully disengage. This is the state of partial awareness. Not fully alert, not fully at ease. Balance between both. Time continued to pass. The scent faded further. The light shifted again. The dog's breathing slowed slightly, but its position did not change. Still near the door, still facing the same direction, still connected to the last known point of presence. Then, a sound, faint, distant, but familiar. The dog's ears lifted instantly. Its body tensed slightly. Not fear, recognition. It stood up, moved closer to the door, listened. The sound grew clearer. Footsteps. The pattern began to return. The dog's posture changed. Energy shifted. Anticipation turned into certainty. The cycle was completing. The door handle moved. The door opened, and the presence returned. The dog stepped forward, not rushing, but moving with purpose. Its tail moved slightly. Its body relaxed. The pattern had resolved. The absence was no longer active. The dog did not react with overwhelming excitement. It simply returned to balance. Because for the dog, the most important thing was not the moment of return. It was the completion of the pattern. The man stepped inside, unaware of the subtle process that had taken place in his absence. To him, it had been a simple departure, a quiet exit. But to the dog, it had been an incomplete signal, an interruption in expectation, a moment of uncertainty that lingered until it was resolved. He looked down at the dog and smiled, reaching out to touch its head. The dog accepted the contact, calm, steady, present. But now, there was something different in the space. A quiet understanding, not spoken, but felt. The way we leave matters, not just to us, but to those who are waiting.